I don't know if my stamina is just getting better or because the sun's out, it's better. I took a nap right before this. I don't know.
Sun's out, guns out.
Sun's out, guns out. That held me whole new meaning in my house.
All right, let's see here. Looks like we're getting pretty close to spooling up. All right, we got some people out there listening and watching.
All right, welcome everybody. Just wishing a quick birthday to my buddy over at the Wolfgang Puck, which we'll get into that here in the show. God, that's depressing as hell.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
I like being able to say hello on 18 different channels.
We're everywhere. We're like Visa. We're everywhere you want to be.
I feel like ET. I'm broadcasting to all channels.
27 channels, and it's all Disney Parks podcast.
That's right. That's right.
All right. So, you ready to get into the show?
I am. I'm ready.
All right. In today's show, we've got news about updates for Walt Disney World Reservations, Stormtroopers at Disney Springs, meetups, contests, and headline news, all in today's Disney Parks podcast.
Welcome to the Disney Parks podcast with your hosts, Tony Casanova from DisneyByTheNumbers.com and Parkhopper John from WDWParkhoppers.com. Keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the podcast at all times. And get ready for the Disney Parks Podcast.
All right, everybody, welcome to the show. So glad you were here. What a crazy couple of weeks it's been.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing tonight, Uncle Tony?
Yeah, doing good. Hanging in there. Living the dream.
Excellent. Well, let me tell you about the show sponsor before we get too deep into it. Our good friends at Destinations to Travel will be your guide for your dream vacation, no matter what you're wanting to do. Once everything reopens, caveat. Family vacation, a romantic getaway, a destination wedding. Maybe you want to take a cruise. God bless you if you do. Or you can even take a European vacation or any type of Disney vacation you can dream up. You can definitely let Destinations to Travel be your guide for that. The best way to get plugged in is to go to DisneyParksPodcast.com/D, the number 2, travel. That's DisneyParksPodcast.com/D, the number 2, travel. There's a short form there to fill out, like name, email, phone number, best way to contact, and what you're interested in. And then once you hit enter, someone from the Destinations to Travel team will get back in touch with you. So thank you so much for being a sponsor to Destinations to Travel, and we surely want you guys to use them. It's better to have them and not need them than to need them and not have them.
That's right.
Yeah. We definitely want to thank our friends last week who were here from Destinations to Travel. So they did such a great job.
Melissa and Tiffany.
Yeah, thank you so much for those guys stepping in and helping out with some of the convoluted information that's going on out there, separating fact from fiction.
That is right.
So, what'd you do this week? Anything fun?
Thursday we went to Paradiso and got thrown out at 6:30 for the curfew.
We did get thrown out, actually.
I think that's the first time I've closed a restaurant at 6:30.
It's the only time I've ever been thrown out of a restaurant with the sun up that wasn't in the AM.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a weird experience.
Yeah.
But the food was good. They've got a very, very truncated menu.
Yes.
But the food was good. The cocktails were good.
Right.
The company was great.
Yeah.
Got to hang out with a guest, former guest on this show. We'll have on again, Bill.
Yep.
Al Denisi and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy that does all the great Disney articles for Park Hoppers and Disney Parks and Disney by the Numbers.
Right.
So that was Thursday. I went to Disney Springs yesterday and had quite an interesting
Oh yeah,
experience.
tell us about that fun
So,
story.
so, here's- so one thing I didn't know is they're either rotating the parking lots or they shift the parking lots. And Tony had a great insight. It's probably due to the Advent Health people,
Mm-hmm.
although I would think that they would just rotate shifts. Um, but
That's
apparently,
smart.
probably not. So we were going to the Polite Pig to meet friends for lunch. So noon, we roll up, and normally we would go to the Lime parking lot because the exit dumps you right out at the Polite Pig. And so we drive into the parking lot, which is kind of a messy situation now. And we drove in, and they had a gate up, and so we took a left, and then we took another left and drove out of the parking garage.
Thanks for visiting Disney Springs. We hope you had a great time.
I had to check my wallet to make sure that the money I had in it was still there. It didn't somehow magically just disappear. Like if they figured that technology out, oh my God. So no, what they were doing is they weren't allowing anybody to park in that garage. So we all had to shuttle down onto Orange,
Right.
which kind of sucked because I didn't feel like walking all the way from the Orange garage all the way up to the Polite Pig,
Mm-hmm.
but I did it. And
You did it because you had to.
I did it because I had to, and come to find out that they were just, there's a certain time of day that the Orange garage is open, and then there's a certain time of day that the Lime garage is open.
Right. Yep.
I don't know why specifically, but that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we get to the Polite
It's
Pig.
kind of like everything is going to be a staggered opening because they don't want all the employees to go at the same time and all the public.
Right.
So they're going to do staggered openings. The parks are going to be a staggered opening too, so
Right.
they're not opening at the same time.
So they get to the Polite Pig, as usual. Food was amazing, and found out that a good friend of ours at the Pig is changing jobs, which was kind of sad.
Right.
Really exciting because I've been told that they're still going to be a part of the Disney sphere of, I don't know what that means, but I'm sure I'll be told at some point. And it was great. But we talked about the restaurants are closing early, and they've been closing earlier. First of all, they were closing early for COVID-19
Right.
to allow everybody to clean.
Yep.
Now they're closing even earlier because of the protests and riots.
Right.
And they're having to let some of the cast members go even earlier because they live in the downtown area or they live in an area that would be affected. So they had to let them go early to give them enough time to get home so they wouldn't be caught up in all that craziness.
Right.
So that was crazy enough, which, by the way, I will say this, went to the Pig. Their market special this month is the shrimp and grits.
Ooh.
Oh my God, the shrimp are the size of your skull. It's huge. It's great. Everybody there is doing well. So excited to see them. They're great. Then we stepped on down and we got to see the Stormtroopers, which we're going to be talking about here in just a second. The Stormtroopers at Disney Springs, which is weird.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing because it just doesn't
Right.
belong, And then we kept on going down to Wolfgang Puck and had a great time, hung out with friends because we've know a lot of the people who work there, and found out that Puck is now closing on Mondays and Tuesdays because they had a lot of the sit down restaurants are having the same thing happen. They had that instant rush of people coming back when they opened a couple weeks ago. And then now with all the craziness going on, people are not coming to Disney Springs.
Right.
Or the locals said, yeah, let's go eat. And they were like, okay, we're not going back for a while.
Mm.
So Wolfgang Puck is closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. Planet Hollywood, from what I remember, is closed until further notice. I believe that House of Blues is only open for like 2 or 3 hours a day from like 4 to 6.
Which I find crazy. I mean, it cannot be cost effective to open for 2 hours. It just can't.
And then I know that Paradiso is closing at 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to like closing at 7. They're closing at 6:30.
Right.
And and we honestly weren't there at 6:30. They were like done at 6:15. They're like,
yeah.
You have to go. And so it's happening all around. A lot of the sit-in dining restaurants are struggling right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Poorhouse, CityWorks, Poorhouse, and Eatery or whatever, I can never get their nomenclature. So if you're from there, I am so sorry. But the CityWorks is not open until the 10th, which is Wednesday. I'm not even sure they're going to open at this point because and some of the other...
They will literally be the only thing open down at that, the west side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And some of the restaurants, I don't want to get into too much detail, but some of the restaurants are starting to deal with, because they can't keep the doors open, they can't keep all their cast members, they can't keep all their staff.
Right.
So some of these restaurants are having to lay people off. Like our roommate worked at Terrace,
mm-hmm.
and like they were only bringing back a certain number of people. She's still to get a call back.
Right.
It's just nuts what's going on down there. So, I would say if you're a local, please go to Disney Springs, spend some money, go to the sit-down restaurants if they're open, and over-tip because these people are hurting. Now, granted, we're all hurting for cash, but if you're going to go to Disney Springs and spend money, just,
Yeah. So somebody in the chat is saying that the protest curfew has been lifted as of today, hopefully.
True.
We'll have to go check.
I hope that has a ripple effect. And the other thing is you have to keep checking a bunch of different places for the latest and greatest updates because that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to lift the hours.
Right.
So it's just nutty. Call first, check websites, check Facebook pages, check Instagram.
Right.
We'll try to keep it updated as we can, but it's nutty. Anyway, anything else you want to add?
No, I think we're good.
All right, then there's nothing else we can do but get into
the news.
And now, Disney Parks Podcast News.
All right, we've got some updates to the Walt Disney World Resort reservations. We know a lot of people are excited to return to the magic and make new memories with family, friends, and loved ones, as we previously shared. As Disney takes steps forward, they're introducing enhanced health and safety measures reflecting guidance from health authorities and appropriate government agencies. With Disney theme parks soon to reopen, they're going to be managing attendance through a new theme park reservations system, God help us all, at DisneyWorld.com that will require all guests to make a reservation in advance for theme park entry. Over the next coming weeks, Disney will make some necessary updates to prepare for the launch of the theme park reservation system, but they wanted to share some important information to help us to plan ahead. Now, this is coming from Disney.
Correct.
There's not rumor here. This is purely from Disney, so
correct.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Absolutely correct.
So for new ticket sales and hotel reservations, at this time, Disney is temporarily pausing new ticket sales and Disney Resort hotel reservations so they can focus on guests with existing tickets and reservations. Existing ticket holders and pass holders will be able to make theme park reservations before new tickets are sold. Disney will be reaching out to those guests soon to provide additional details. Disney is going to resume new sales of tickets and Disney Resort hotel reservations after that period of time. Theme park reservations will be limited to attendance limitations and will be subject to availability. Dining and experiences. In order to foster physical distancing during this time upon reopening, Disney offerings, resorts, and other experiences such as behind-the-scenes tours will be limited in capacity and other experiences may remain closed. As a result of limited capacity, Disney's made the difficult decision to cancel, I can't believe I'm saying this, cancel all existing dining reservations and experience bookings, including Disney dining plans, included in packages. Disney will reopen dining and experience bookings with more limited numbers closer to when the parks reopen. Disney will also shift from a 180-day booking window to a 60-day booking window for dining and experience bookings going forward to allow guests to make their plans closer to their visits. And we've mentioned this before, but FastPass and extra magic hours, as a result of the COVID-19 impact, FastPass service will be suspended for the time being as Disney plans to use additional queue space to manage capacity at their attractions and maintain physical distancing. Disney will automatically cancel existing FastPass Plus selections and share any future updates on the service at a future date. Also, please note that upon reopening, extra magic hours, not the show, will be temporarily suspended.
Yikes. And that's just the short of it, kids. There's more.
Yeah.
A lot more.
For those of you who are, Patreon supporters, the show's coming out this week. The extra magic hour show will curdle your hair. Yeah. I mean, it's just... The one thing that gets me is the electric water pageant.
Right.
It's canceled.
I know.
I just can't. Yeah. I can't see that.
It's got to be for the safety of the 6 people on the barges, and not for our safety.
For many sakes.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right.
Anyway, John spoke about these, but you can keep your eye out for Stormtroopers from a galaxy far, far away at Disney Springs. They're helping you social distance with a little pew pew, pew pew, yeah. Pew pew.
Yes.
Do they set their phasers to stun if you get too close?
That is Star Trek.
Okay. Anyway, there's already a lot of excitement happening at Disney Springs this week with the reopening of the iconic World of Disney store, which was crazy. But we've also come across some visitors from a galaxy far, far away. If you spent some time at Disney Springs on Wednesday, you may have spotted the First Order Stormtroopers patrolling the area on the lookout for members of the Resistance. They were only in the one place, right? I think, yeah.
They were right above Ever After.
Yeah.
So if you come out of the line parking lot, hang a left, mm-hmm. You can hear them, and they're right there over on Ever After. So if you're looking at the Planet Hollywood, they're on the right. Can't miss them.
Right.
You can't miss the flags.
Yeah, I heard they took the flags down. No, they left them up. Okay, good.
No, they're there.
Okay. We hear that they're stationed on some balconies these days. If you do see them, then it's probably best to snap a photo from afar and move along, as stormtroopers may not appreciate you getting too close. And if you are feeling particularly brave, sport some of the Resistance gear you may have picked up on your visit to Batuu. Of course, if you're more of a First Order sympathizer and want to fly this color as well, the Stormtroopers will appreciate that as well. Disney Springs is in the midst of a phased reopening. The World of Disney store opened its doors Wednesday, along with the Disney-owned and operated venues like Deluxe Burger, mobile order only, not eating inside, and the Marketplace Co-op. And for the latest information about the reopening, we'll have that later in the show.
The cool thing about it is there's a male and female Stormtrooper.
Oh.
So
how can you tell?
Because one's got a male voice and one's got a female voice.
Oh, okay.
Unless you're one of those people that doesn't believe in genders, there's a high-pitched voice that would typically sound like a lady, and then there's a lower voice that would definitely sound like more of a male, masculine voice. But it could be 2 women. I don't want to get into that discussion, but there's a male and female Stormtrooper. Fair point?
Right.
All right, cool. We just got done doing our shows for our Patreon folks. If you like what we do here and you like to help keep the show on and live and allow us to do things like we've just added into the mix going live on YouTube as well as all across all of our social platforms, that does cost us a little bit to do that. So if you'd like to help support us, please go to patreon.com/Disney Parks Podcast. For as little as $5 a month, You get 2 additional shows each week that are just for you. We don't repurpose those shows. You can only hear them on Patreon. At the $10 level, you also get the new Disney Plus podcast where we talk all things Disney Plus. We've also added a level just for people who don't like ads, as well as a level where you get all 3 shows and you get a monthly Disney by the Numbers T-shirt Club T-shirt sent directly to you. So go to patreon.com/Disney Parks Podcast and sign up today.
And I will tell you, go to Disney by the Numbers because we have a new shirt this month. The printer is open and printing, and it is a beautiful United We Stand 6 feet apart T-shirt.
Yep.
Some fun characters.
Yep.
All right. Next up, last week, John, we had a question that nobody answered, and
What?
it was, nobody. What was the original name of the Garden Grill in the Living with the Land? And
Even I know this.
I wouldn't have known this because I haven't been there. The correct answer was The Good Turn because it's a rotating restaurant.
So, guys,
We got lots of good swag to give away, too.
we send out great swag. I don't know why people wouldn't at least Google it, but hey, that's fine.
Okay, this one you're going to have to Google if you haven't been there in the 70s and 80s.
Mm-hmm.
What were the names of the side-wheeled boats that used to transport on the Seven Seas Lagoon and Bay Lake in the 70s and 80s? So these were like paddle boats that had a wheel on the side, if you remember what that kind of looks like.
Yeah. The Flying Dutchman and the Black Pearl.
Correct.
What'd I win? What do I win?
If you know the correct answer, send that to Disney Parks Podcast at gmail.com. And we have some fun swag to give away.
All right, new ILM X Lab virtual reality experience, Star Wars Tales from Galaxy's Edge, will bring adventures on Batuu home to you. Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge is a new action-adventure experience that will give fans the opportunity to live their own adventures in virtual reality. The original story will feature both new and iconic characters from Star Wars Galaxy. Multiple styles of gameplay as well as difficulty settings are included so that the experience can be enjoyed by a variety of players, from Star Wars fans to just virtual reality gamers. Explore the outskirts of Batuu and meet new characters from your home thanks to ILM X Lab, Lucasfilm's award-winning entertainment studio, and Oculus Studios, taking over the world 2 eyeballs at a time. Just like Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the story will take place between Star Wars The Last Jedi and Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, located on Batuu, with the action happening along the outskirts of Black Spire Outpost. This extension of the storytelling found at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge builds on the lore of a land that has redefined what a Disney park experience can be, and we cannot wait for you to experience it yourself. I would love to have that. I don't know how much that technology is.
I think they're fairly cheap. I think you get them like under $100 now.
So, do you need a game console, or do you do it?
I think you need like the VR goggles. I don't because I think some of them, like your phone goes in it. So if the app is on the phone, that turns it into the VR goggles.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah,
that's all I needed right there.
Yeah, see, there you go. Came to the right person, John.
That's right. When all things nerdy, I go to Tony. That's the way that works.
Okay, I still have not eaten here. Have you eaten at Topolino's?
Brother, I haven't even been to the new resort yet because you have to have a reservation to get on property, and I have not been on property.
Okay.
And then COVID hit.
At least I ate at the quick service before they shut it down.
There you go.
All right, so Topolino's character breakfast is going to continue post-COVID. Topolino's Terrace at Disney's Riviera Resort will offer a modified character dining experience when it reopens later this month. Popular character meals like Chef Mickey's, Cape May, and 1900 Park Fare will not open on June 22nd when their respective resorts begin to host guests. However, Disney intends to continue some forms of character dining at Topolino's Terrace. Among the listed changes to the Disney dining is as follows, and is subject to change at any time.
All right.
I could be reading this to you, and they could be rewriting it at the same time. That's just the way it's going to happen.
That's how it works, man.
Yeah. So character dining will not be offered during the initial reopening, with the exception of a modified character dining experience at Topolino's Terrace. Social distancing guidelines may lead to a disappointing experience for diners. It is unlikely that guests will be able to interact with characters if 6 feet distancing is enforced. Along with closing the most popular character meals, Disney has indicated that the theme park meet and greet opportunities are discontinued indefinitely. I can't even fathom my saying that. All right. Disney shows private dining, in-room delivery will not be offered during what Disney calls the initial reopening window.
That's right. I did my air quotes just for you.
Okay. They expect additional venues and services will debut following the July 11th reopening of the theme parks. Face coverings are required in all public areas of Walt Disney World, including when you're entering and exiting restaurants. It may be removed while you eat or you drink. Thank you, Disney.
But you better put that crap back on.
Dining reservations are recommended, and it's going to be the only way you're going to get into the hotel, so you're going to make one. At Disney resorts, in-park table service dining will require a park admission ticket, a reservation for the park, and a dining reservation. So you will need 2 reservations for that. Dining reservations are not currently available. They have not turned on the system yet, but Disney expects to reopen them soon. Until further notice, dining reservations will be available only 60 days in advance rather than the previous 180 days.
Wow.
So there you go. Enjoy it while you can.
It's
Book your ticket now.
It's just a weird time to be a Disney fan.
Right.
It's so weird.
Right.
I pray every day that things go back to normal, but I don't think they will for a very, very long time.
Right.
Anyway. We went through a list in the Disney Extra Magic Hour show that we do for our patrons of resorts that were opening when the theme parks reopening or on or around June 22nd. And there was one surprise that was not on the list, and it was Jumbo House. It's not on the list of the resorts opening on June 22nd. So updated information posted to the Walt Disney World websites list all of the deluxe villa resorts opening on the 22nd. One Disney Vacation Club property is not appearing there. Earlier this week, Disney reported that the lack of availability at Disney's Animal Kingdom Villa's Jumbo House. According to the Disney Vacation Club member website, I don't know why I have the hiccups, but I have the hiccups. No rooms are currently available for member booking through the end of 2020. Website oddities are not unheard of for Disney. Just let that sentence sink in. However, there is more evidence that Jumbo House may not reopen anytime soon. On a webpage entitled Disney Resort Hotels Know Before You Go, which is the official Disney site, Disney includes that select Disney Resort Villas and Disney 4 Wilderness Resorts and Campgrounds will reopen on June 22nd. The complete list includes Bay Lake Tower, Disney's Beach Club Villas, Kidani Village, and every other Disney Vacation Club destination at Walt Disney World, except for Jumbo House.
That's right.
With only 130 villas, Jumbo House is the second smallest DVC destination at Disney World, after villas at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. Oddly enough, Jumbo House restaurant The Mara appeared on a list of dining venues to which cast members have been recalled to work. Plans may call for limited access to the building for some form of carry-out delivery food service. Guests holding reservations for Jumbo House would presumably be moved to the Kidani Village or offered accommodations in another DVC resort, with availability, of course. Kidani Village does not have club or value or club level accommodations. However, Disney does not plan to immediately open any club lounges as it resumes operations following the COVID-19 closure. At this point, we can only speculate as to the possible reasons for shuttering Jumbo. Disney may be unwilling to open the 1,500 hotel rooms, meaning the DVC would bear the full burden of operating the facility for just 130 villas. Other possibilities include housing for the NBA Association or Major League Soccer as athletes look to resume their seasons at Disney's Wide World of Sports complex. Now, this was something that was brought up during the chat during the Extra Magic Hours. Jen said that she heard it there, so we've got it here. Yeah. I've also heard rumors that they're using Coronado Springs. I don't know if they're using the Grand Destino Tower, but I do know Coronado Springs. And it makes sense. It's the closest resort to the ESPN. And then Jumbo House being the second closest. So that actually does make a little bit of sense. And if they've got cast members coming back tomorrow, they've got to feed those folks anyway. So there you go.
Right. And then this may be mute at this point too, but the Orange County where most of Disney is, Disney Springs and Universal City Walks are having to adjust their hours because of this curfew. After some of the violence and destruction of property erupted in Orange County at various locations during protests, the mayor of Orange County put in a curfew that started at 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. each night until further notice. But that was forcing restaurants, like we were saying, to close at 7 p.m. at Disney Springs. There have been no protests, violence, or looting at Disney World. So that's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good sign. Yeah, so we'll have to see how that plays out.
Okay, so the Disney Store has shared some updates on health and safety measures for reopening. I'm looking forward to the days that we do news and it's not about health and
safety and well-being and 6 feet and social distancing and masks and sanitizer.
Yeah, it's starting to get repetitive in my head. Disney Store shares updated health and safety measures for reopening. Didn't they already have the reopening?
No, this is the Disney stores, the real stores.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not the World of Disney Store, the Disney stores.
Okay, so the Disney Store has shared an update about what health and safety measures are being put into place as its relocations are reopened. The new measures include, but are not limited to,
that's right,
face coverings required for guests ages 3 and up in order to enter. Why just 3 and up? Put a baby in a mask. I'm okay with that. You can breathe. They got germs too. Just saying. Masks are also required for cast members. Maintain 6 feet of physical distancing. Any of this sound different than what we've been told for everywhere we go on the planet right now? Cover your mouth and nose when coughing or sneezing. Do we have to tell adults this in the year 2020?
Yes.
Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth.
What, John? What'd you say?
Frequent cleaning is happening throughout the day. In-store occupancy will be limited and monitored. Special hours will vary. Contactless payments will be accepted. In-store events have been postponed until a later date. Product availability will vary in-store. Some limited edition and limited release items and keys may not be available in stores at this time. Also, Disney stores are implementing a phased reopen plan to decide when is best to reopen each location. You can find the latest information about your local Disney store on the store locator page. Cast members will be required to complete a health screening checklist and temperature check at home before coming to work. Huh? They're gonna have to do a health screening checklist.
Yeah, they're supposed to take the temperatures at home. And then I think report that or record that, and then it will be also done on site as well.
There's no advanced reservation required to visit the Disney Store, but keep in mind the capacity will be limited, so there could be a wait to go into a Disney Store. What a shock.
I'm shocked.
For the time being, Disney Store has extended its return window for 30 days after the store reopens for purchases made in-store on or after February 25th, 2020. Coupons that expired while the stores were closed will still be valid now through December 31st, 2020. Get those coupons, kids.
Right.
You can learn more about the new safe and healthy measure health. You can learn more about the new safety and health measures with their Know Before You Go page on shopdisney.com.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Thank God for the internet. I couldn't know anything if it wasn't for the internet.
All right, so talking about shopping, now let's talk about the World of Disney store at Disney Springs. Okay.
Yeah.
They reopened and there are new safety procedures. The World of Disney store reopened at Disney Springs with a 6-hour wait. Now, I have to ask myself, was there anything in that store that was not in that store when it closed in like February or March that I absolutely needed that I had to wait 6 hours for? No. The answer to that was no. Anyway, so now they have a virtual queue there. So upon arriving at the World of Disney or the Marketplace Co-op, guests will be placed in a virtual queue. Guests do so by actually talking to a cast member, stating their name and giving them a cell phone number and saying how many guests are in their party. Then guests will receive a text, and you'll actually receive 2 texts per the virtual queue that they enter. The first text will verify that you're in the queue, and the second text will notify them when to come back to the store. You will have 30 minutes to return to the store when you receive that second text. If you don't return in time, then they will restart your wait time back in the queue.
Ooh.
So don't go too far. Go far enough, but not too far.
Don't go for a meal.
Yeah.
Don't grab some to eat.
Yeah. If you're going to go for a meal, make sure you can take it with you. There are specific entry and exit points to the store. Guests will come to the entry point with their text so that they can be allowed inside. A cast member will verify the text and allow them to enter. Cast members are also at each exit to note when guests leave so that they can update the system. There is a limit on how many guests can be in the store at one time, but Disney has not posted what that limit is and probably never will. Inside the store was significantly less crowded than normal. Thank you. Finally, the busiest parts of the store were obviously the registers.
Yeah. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah. Markings are in place in the queues, which were already extended to allow for more room, so they made each of the register queues bigger, obviously. As expected, social distancing reminders are scattered throughout the store. The only place that the markers on the ground are used are in the register queue, so you can roam around the store freely, bumping into people.
Yes.
But when you get to the register, we're going to have to make you stay 6 feet apart.
Yes.
Disney had, I think I mentioned this, there are signage that you shouldn't touch the merchandise unless you plan on buying it too. So don't pick it up, sneeze on it, and then put it back on the shelf. Disney also has signage recommending contactless payment. Guests can use cash to purchase a Disney gift card only at the Welcome Center, and then at select merchandise locations is where you can use said gift card. Each register has a plastic barrier installed. I need to know the plexiglass company they're using. Cast members can also be seen around the store sanitizing high-touch areas such as doors and clothing racks. There is also hand-free sanitizer offered in the store and at each exit. There is also signage about limiting the amount of merchandise that guests do touch. So if you do bring a kid in there, that's going to be tough because kids like to touch the toys. You know,
Yeah.
That's inherently born into them.
Glove them up, man. Just put some
Yeah,
gloves
I
on.
guess.
Just kidding.
But you just, anyway, if you touch the surface that's on the glove, you're just moving it to, anyway.
Sure. Yeah. Gloves were a horrible idea on
Yeah.
the front end.
Yeah.
All right, so let's play a quick game, kids. All of you listening to the show or listening in the chat room, put your hand up if you like nachos. All right, put your hand down. Now put your hand up if you like Dole Whip. Guess what, boys and girls? You can put your hands down. New Dole Whip nachos are available at Disney Springs Marketplace snack kiosks. Yep, you heard me right. Dole Whip fans can enjoy the newest iteration of the pineapple-filled treat, the Dole Whip Nachos.
Wow.
This sounds like it's from Mad Magazine, but it's really not. These dessert nachos are less than $10 and can easily be shared. Stop and let that sink in, kids.
Right.
You're supposed to social distance everywhere in the world, but these dessert nachos can easily be shared.
Right.
The new ice cream and waffle concoction is available for $8.99 plus tax. You can currently only get this at the Marketplace snack kiosk in Disney Springs. The kiosk is located in the Marketplace section of Disney Springs near the Ghirardelli store. These nachos feature waffle cone chips, Dole Whip, mango boba pearls, pineapple, strawberry sauce, whipped cream, and rainbow sprinkles. It's just not. Anyway, it's a great sharing opportunity for fans of Dole Whips, even though they're supposed to be 6 feet between each other.
Right.
It was more than enough for one person and would be a great snack option for 2 to 3 people. The waffle chips don't get soggy. Did not get soggy, which is a plus. There's also plenty of fresh pineapple and boba pearls. You get about the same amount of Dole Whip in this offering as you do a regular straight Dole Whip in a cup. The difference is the add-on of waffle chips, pineapple chunks, and boba pearls. For fans of eco-friendly options, the bowl was made of plant materials and is compostable.
Ooh.
I'm sure that tastes good, too. It's so good I ate the bowl.
I came for the Dole Whip nachos and I ate the bowl.
The bowl. That's right. I needed a little roughage.
Yeah. I need something to wash down the Dole Whip with.
There you go.
All right, so select Disney food and beverage cast members have received their callback notifications.
Yay.
Wait. Do I have? Come back to work!
Wow, that's the rumor alarm.
Yeah. According to an article published by the Orlando Sentinel, the leader of the Local 362 union updated his members on what the process of returning to work at a Disney theme park and resort might look like. The company doesn't plan to bring back seasonal workers or resume the Disney College program immediately, according to the union. So that means that regular people are going to be filling in those jobs. If anyone thinks that Disney College program workers are coming back anytime soon, they're mistaken, Clinton said. He's the union guy. Disney will also need staff for Spaceship Earth, the ride inside Epcot's iconic globe, or geosphere, since the ride's rehabilitation has been postponed indefinitely and will remain open. Last week, a post on Disney Careers site shows that Disney is looking for applicants for their cultural programs. That's not true. It was one application for Mexico only. So not all of them. Don't go crazy, people. And by the way, if you go to the Disney Career site, I think in Florida, there were only like 10 jobs total that are posted. Now, the last time I was there was like over 200 some odd jobs. So that's a big drop.
Wow.
But the positions won't be beginning until 2021. The Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom are set to reopen on July 11th, and then Epcot and the studios will open on July 15th. The Walt Disney Food and Beverage Union, which is Local 737, sent out a list of restaurants and resort hotels that are beginning to recall their cast members. The list was shared on their Orlando Hotel and Restaurant Workers Movement face page Wednesday evening, and anybody can join that page, and you can see the list of workers there that are being recalled. And they also listed the housekeeping jobs that are coming back too. According to the union, the furloughed workers at these select dining locations are being called to return to work beginning June 14th. At this time, no official announcement has been made from Disney suggesting that any of these restaurants listed will be opening on a certain date. The Disney Vacation Club resorts listed are set to reopen on June 22nd, as we had previously mentioned.
Wow.
There you go.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm glad they're. I'm glad they're starting to recall them and get them back to work. I mean,
yeah,
it's about time. Poor people.
yeah, yeah. Well, there's light at the end of the tunnel. That's
Yeah,
the trick.
and it's not a train.
Yeah, or a bazooka.
Yeah.
All right. A majority of Florida counties to enter phase 2 of reopening on June 5th. We've already passed that date. Bars and movie theaters are at 50%. So Governor DeSantis announced at a press conference, with the exception of Miami-Dade, Palm Beach, and Broward counties, God help those counties,
I know.
that we've already moved forward now into phase 2 of reopening procedures. The press conference took place at Universal Studios. Good for them. Some of the noteworthy facets of phase 2 are that bars are now allowed to reopen at 50% capacity, and restaurants will be permitted to seat guests at a bar to be served. Movie theaters and bowling alleys will also be able to reopen at 50% capacity, and the retail locations will be allowed to operate at full capacity. Funny thing about those bar things, though. So when we went into one of the places yesterday at Disney Springs, they had it set up to where it was like, 3 seats, gap. 3 seats, gap. And there were 4 of us.
Yeah, so 2 people can sit at the bar, 1 at each end.
So I sat down and just moved my chair over we had a section 4. And the dude didn't, that's going to come out the wrong way. I go to this place a lot, and a lot of people recognize me being there. I guess it sounds like I'm an alcoholic, but it's a restaurant.
Yeah.
So it's this guy I'd never met before. He's very new, never worked in the bar, or he hasn't worked in the bar any time that I've ever seen. So he's like, I'm not sure you're going to be able to sit there. We really have these things staggered out. I said, yeah, but you got them staggered out in groups of 3. We're a group of 4. And he's like, well, I guess one of you can kind of sit over here. I'm like, dude, I'm not splitting up my group of 4 just to maintain social distancing. Right. We've been sitting at the table with each other all afternoon.
Right.
It's like, well, I don't know. We're really trying to keep them spaced out. And so then the bar guy came in. He's like, yeah, John, you're fine. He just pulls the thing off and takes the tape off. He said, every place I've been into in the last 2 days have been full bars, shoulder to shoulder. You're going to be fine.
Right.
And I said, thanks, buddy. So it's a little crazy. I think people are finally kind of getting to the point where they're kind of over a lot. So,
right.
Anywho, slowly but surely getting back to somewhat normal. At least I'm seeing toilet paper on the shelf, so that's exciting. All right, kids. How about a little headline news?
And now, the headline news.
All right, there's not a lot of headline news going on. Carlos A. Gomez has been named treasurer of the Walt Disney Company. Everybody knows Carlos, right?
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Good job, Carlos.
I guess they need somebody to recrunch the numbers on how much money they've lost.
Well, I did hear this. Now, this is strictly off the record, that when Chapek finally takes over, it's going to be not great.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of changing of the guards.
It's money.
Yeah.
I think Tom Staggs might have been a better choice if that's how it's going to be.
Ooh.
So, anywho.
And as we all know by now, the NBA is now going to be playing at Walt Disney World. So, without people, this is what they're doing. I heard this today too. So there will be somebody, I guess, in the booth somewhere that will play crowd sounds from the NBA game, the Xbox game.
NBA 2K?
Right, to simulate the crowd so it will keep the players energized.
Bum, 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 bum,
How would you like that job? What did you do today, honey, at work? I hit a button that said fans 1, fan 2, fan 3.
Oh my god! Well, they're doing that with pro wrestling stuff. They're still not allowed to have fans.
Yeah.
I don't think they do it for the wrestlers, but they pipe fan noise in during the live telecast.
That's sad.
It's awkward.
Sad, very, very, very sad.
It's very awkward.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's nobody in the stands that you hear. You're like, there's nobody there. Who's chanting? They should just pump in vuvuzelas the whole time.
Yeah. Just put it in post.
That's right.
And then Disney Cruise Line has canceled the remainder of the 2020 Alaskan cruise season. I'm going to list that under, who didn't see that coming?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I don't think the cruise line is going to get going until late 2021. That's going to be my prediction. I'm going to say it.
I don't know, man. There's other cruise lines that are starting to get open. I mean,
yeah, Disney's very conservative, though.
Yeah, but the Alaska cruise season isn't that long, so I don't know how long the season goes.
Yeah.
One other thing about the NBA thing that I think is so funny, if that's what they say is true, that they're piping in the fan noise to motivate the players.
Right.
$22 million a year is pretty dang motivating to me. I mean,
I know.
You're not motivated to play. You get paid to play basketball.
Right.
How much more motivation do you need?
Yeah. And it's not like you're being paid $13 an hour to do it.
Right.
You could put like a couple zeros on the end of that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
I got nothing. All
right, guys. Thanks for sticking with us tonight. I hope you guys had a little fun. Try to make it a little bit more enjoyable. A lot of good stuff out there. A little confusing.
Could be interesting.
It's interesting. Some sad stuff too. But hey, you know what? We're going to be here. We're excited that the magic is starting to come back a little bit. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Come find us. Watch us live every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at facebook.com/Disney Parks Podcast. You can also find us on Instagram and YouTube, which you can watch live there as well on Monday nights at Disney Parks Podcast. Make sure you find us over at DisneyParksPodcast.com, which is where you can see our show archives as well as blog posts, all sorts of links to some of our great friends like our sponsors, Destinations to Travel. If you're looking for a great travel provider, you could not look for any better company than DisneyParksPodcast.com/D, the number 2, travel. That's how you get in touch with them. And come find us over at Patreon.com/Disney Parks Podcast. If you like what we do, you want to support us, you get up to 3 new shows every week that you can't hear anywhere else. And it's not that much a month, guys. I think it's totally worth it, if not more so. Plus, did I mention that there's some amazing swag that we give for the different levels as well? I'm just saying. And we just appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for all the people in the chat rooms. And we'll see you next week. And if we don't see you online, we'll see you in the parks.
The Disney Parks Podcast is not affiliated with the Walt Disney Company. All Disney parks, attractions, lands, shows, event names, etc. are registered trademarks of the Walt Disney Company.